Hey guys, this is a part 2 continuation of the previous video where we took this Linux CarPlay screen and installed it to the Audi A1. This time we're going to be exploring how we can hack it and how we were able to have a USB stick and have ultra elite hacks to be able to have a custom launcher, even being able to launch Doom on this screen. So we're going to be exploring how we did that. So I messaged the seller that sold this to me on AliExpress for basically a software update, because I looked around on other communities that use the same screen. So like BMW, Mercedes, Audis, they sell the same screen, but the mounting and the way you install it to the different shaped dashboards and cars is a bit different. So one of the reasons that I bought this was because of the big screen. I mean, look, it looks nice, looks OEM. I haven't had any connectivity issues. The Wi-Fi is fine. The music plays. It does what I need it to do. I don't think it has a GPS module, so that GPS speed and stuff like that that you see on Waze goes through the phone, but that doesn't really matter. The second reason I bought this is because it was advertised as a Linux screen. So the boot time, first of all, is like 10 seconds. Let me show you the boot speed as well. So go. I also changed the logo. Let me know in the comments if it's cool or cringe. I don't know. I have some other versions of it, but there you go. Look at that. That was like, what, not even 10 seconds. Really, really fast boot up speed, and then like another second to go straight into CarPlay. So that's really important for things like this in a car versus having an Android operating system that takes a minute to turn on, the launcher to turn on, the whole thing saying phone is starting, and then everything else. That takes forever. It's horrible. With Linux, it just boots up, no problems. It just goes right in. So I messaged the seller for a software update because I saw on other groups that they have the Smart Display Zoom control on. So this is the home screen that you get by default. When it wasn't updated, it was like on a September release from 2025, and I saw there was like a February update from 2026. They sent me a Google Drive link. They should really have those files on their website, but I guess for security, privacy, or just they didn't feel like it, it's just not there. One big upgrade from that software update already was the Smart Display Zoom. So you get what? You get 5x2. So you basically get 10 icons here. However, this is pretty high density, and I've seen other screens having like 4 dock icons. Now, after updating the screen, if you go to the settings, you do have the Smart Display Zoom. If you turn that on, look at that. Like the effective resolution, I guess, or just the density itself is much higher, and you get a whole nother row. It's really, really good. You get way more screen. Yeah, it looks smaller, so if you don't have good eyesight, maybe not good for you. But if you want to fit as much information as possible on the screen, this is perfect. I absolutely love Smart Display Zoom. I think it was introduced on iOS 17, maybe 18, I can't remember, but this is really good. I've seen this work wonders on like really tiny screens as well. You get like way more information on the screen. That's one really good thing that came out of the software update. The other problem we still have is this selection thing, and this does not do anything. And the reason why the Audi doesn't support this is because the buttons in here go through a ribbon, and the old versions that intercept the old screen, you would have to take this whole thing apart and install the ribbon, and then you would be able to use these buttons, and I think this as well. Since we don't have the intercept here, it only takes over the power and maybe sound, aux. And what's annoying is that this shows up everywhere. If you go to settings, see, that just gets highlighted as if it's waiting for you to go up and down and like select different options and click into it. But since it's not there, it's just activated. The reason I think they share the operating system is because this is just touchscreen and Rotary is on by default, and that works for some cars such as BMW. I've seen it work on BMW through their videos, but it doesn't work on Audi because we're not intercepting the buttons. So that's pretty annoying that it's just there highlighting things when it shouldn't be. So when I downloaded the software update for this operating system, I noticed that they're .bin files, and I thought to myself, this is running Linux. So surely this is just a simple Linux file system and bootloader and just nothing, no no distro or anything, just raw Linux, you know? Surely we can somehow mess with this, make this play something, do something, right? There's an entry point somehow. Is it the NAND, or maybe it's the USBs or something? We could maybe plug in a keyboard or do something with it and make it run something that it can't. Because if you go back, it looks like it's just a bare bones launcher. It just goes straight into it. There must be an init system. There must be something running it. Let's see if we can do anything with this screen. So back to you, me in the future or the past. I don't know. I'm going to be explaining how I did this. So we know that the CarPlay screen is running Linux. How do you even start reverse engineering or unpacking the firmware? Before I even knew it was possible, I looked around on Facebook of all things. There was a Mercedes-Benz car group. Someone linked a version of the firmware for their screen, I assume. So basically I just opened this up and it goes into this folder and you get 2 files. If you can flash it, you can dump it or do whatever you want with it, right? Hindsight 2020, I think this one is like the bootloader or anything like that. Gemini Pack is the main operating system. So what you can do is if you open up a terminal here, first you can just run some commands, look at the hex values. You can see that it's not encrypted data. Then I ran some bin walk, typical Linux update file, just as we suspected, really nothing special about it. So the next step is to actually do something about it and get the file systems out, extract them somehow, right? So how do we do that? And a couple of minutes later, I just coded up this entire comprehensive firmware extract repack validator tool. It was me, wasn't Codex, wasn't Opus. No, it was definitely me, guys. Trust. We can click a run extraction here. There you go. Just slaps some files, folders here. And you can go straight into file systems and you can see this is the entire firmware that's running on the device. So you can poke around and see if we can find anything interesting. So like most of it is read only, but if you can modify something here, you could potentially flash on top of the device with your changes and potentially just kill it and break it, which is most likely option. From here, you just start clicking around. Basically, you just look at there's some change logo, launcher, like touch calibration. They have some drivers. They even left the Hello World from the factory. Don't know how long this has been here. If you go to here, you have the AirPlay, Android Auto, those little mini apps that you can enable. I'm assuming there is some sort of service somewhere, and these are basically configuration files. So you can see here that they had really small resolutions like 480p, and now it's up to 1920 to 1020. So I looked into the company, and the company has been around for like 10 years, and they used to have like smaller versions. They started off with like mopeds, then the screens got bigger and bigger, and then I think they just kept stacking new resolutions and not deleting the old ones. So their firmware is pretty bloated, but I don't think it really matters. So you can see like we have a Ford icon on an Audi firmware and Mercedes-Benz logo. This is the same icon you can see on the CarPlay to go back to the actual launcher. There is some potential you can mess around with. If you look at the actual XML, there's plenty of options. So lots of like area to reset. So my initial hunch was maybe something through the USB. Maybe they were diagnosing through it somehow or running scripts off it. So I found that, yeah, we do initialize hot plug with mdev here, which then leads to this, just a single line here. And then there you go. There's your code execution. Like it's right there. All you need is a Gemini Auto script, just named like that. And then as soon as you plug it in, root. It's just root running. It's like instantly. There's your code execution. Again, I assume it's just something they ran with diagnostics. Maybe they have some of their own scripts to test. So we can do anything on it now. We don't have to hack it or don't have to solder anything like that. So thank you very much, Rotop. Very, very cool. So now that we have root access, I was thinking, okay, next logical step is maybe SSH, because if there's no keyboard or mouse, you're not going to pop up a terminal and start doing stuff. My next thought was, okay, let's get Dropper, make it easier. Let's patch out the password authentication. So just do what Jiatan did and allow any kind of password. The Linux kernel is old. When I was testing it with the actual Dropper with not patched, it wasn't accepting my password. Like there was lots of time wasted trying to set the root password and then running the SSH server. Then it somehow runs. I connect to it, type in the password. It doesn't accept it because some sort of cryptography mismatch. It was such a mess that it was just much easier to patch out the passwords. Now that we have a root and SSH, what's the next logical step? I ran some scripts that kills the original launcher. I thought maybe we can just kill it and get something in place. But as soon as you kill the original launcher, there's a hardware reboot. So now that we know that we can't stop the original launcher, we are going to miss out on a little bit of maybe CPU and a little bit of RAM. I have an earlier version of this on the USB. So what you would do is you would plug in the USB. The screen would think a little bit, detect it as USB, think about it. So it enables SSH, and I was running everything manually instead of just realizing that later on in the project I can just plug in a USB and run the launcher itself. So this was the discovery phase. So what you would do is connect to the car Wi-Fi itself. It doesn't have internet, doesn't have anything, you just need to connect to it. After you connect to the Wi-Fi, you would use any kind of SSH client basically to enter its IP address. So it's always going to be 192.168.0.1. The port, the script I was working with, just set it to 2222 because some other server might be running on the 22 port. So just use a different port there. Root, because of course we know that we have root access, and then just any password, just doesn't really matter. We have that patch drop there. Now that we have that, you can just tap in. It generates a different key every time, so it doesn't really matter. Just continue. And there you go, you have SSH access to the device itself. So from here, we have a couple of scripts on the USB, so we need to get to the USB itself. So the correct command is cd tmp sp mnt sda1. You go in there. If you ls the directory, you can see I have all those untitled folders from before, but we have our scripts on there. This is all me just going through each iteration over and over in the same USB. So in here I ran sh run diag, and then it just takes over the frame buffer. So you can see, thinking maybe we can look at the CAN bus, can't do that. You can like intercept and click volume up, volume down, and then when you escape the screen itself, it does actually do something with the volume buttons. I was thinking, okay, let's do system properties. Also, you can see touchscreen works. So I was thinking, okay, maybe let's see if we can get any information. See, it lags sometimes because earlier versions were just constantly doing FPS, and you don't see it here. This is great design, black text on a black background, but there's a like CPU and memory in here, and the CPU was like 100%. So is this actually a potato, or is this just bad code? It was bad code in the end, but you can see got some sort of diagnostics panel, kind of useless at the beginning of the project, but just as a proof of concept that it runs. Also, funny thing is, it doesn't have its own clock battery, so it always starts from the epoch time. You can use that as an uptime timer, kind of. So that's the first version of the launcher, basically. Does it have Doom? No, it doesn't work. You can see the volume did go up and down. So that was the first Qt version of the launcher. This proved that, yeah, you can run applications, you can run on top, you can hijack the screen, you can hijack the touch screen. Some versions at the beginning, if I touched on the new launcher, it would touch at the same time on the screen itself. So when you exit out, they both would be touched. So I had to work out how to take over the ownership of the touchscreen whilst our stuff is on top of whatever is running. So the launcher was pretty buggy and it wasn't going anywhere. I was thinking, okay, maybe we can run a game. And what game do we have that runs on anything? Doom. So yeah, we have this entire script here written in C by definitely yours truly. Codex wrote up this this compatibility layer, I guess you could say, for Doom to make sure it runs. Sound didn't work in the first place, so this was not it. And let's see what happened. Still have that bug where the launcher is making this really slow. We do have an audio test that was for later, but because now if you tap on Doom, it runs. That was the main goal, really. It's amazing. Look at it. It just runs. I mean, it runs on anything. It runs on whatever little screen you can have. But it is confirmed Doom runs on this Linux CarPlay screen that I got off AliExpress. That's the main part. Like, it's amazing. If you tap on it, it also has touch controls. So the D-pad is around here. Select is in the middle. I don't know about here. I can't remember. Yeah, I should really put an overlay maybe for this application itself. Another thing is I have my keyboard and mouse plugged in. So if you take this here, you can actually go up and down with the arrow keys. So if you go back with backspace, there you go. You can literally just press enter and just play Doom. Just literally running on the screen itself. Truly, we live in the best times. Oh, I don't know how to shoot. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm not really a Doom player. I can't believe I just died. I'm a fraud. I don't know how to play Doom. I'm trying to play one-handed and record this, so sorry for the poor gameplay. Why am I stuck on this? What is this? What is this hitbox? Okay, there we go. Get these guys. Get the shotgun, there we go. Get this guy. I'm so sorry for this poor gameplay and poor handling of the camera at the same time. Okay, I just got no-scoped again. One thing that we don't have here is audio. It runs, we have keyboard and mouse support. I mean, Doom doesn't really have mouse support. We have keyboard support. You can play, I think if you quit the game, it quits the entire, oh no, actually, yeah, this is the support going back to the launcher, because before I was running Doom via SSH, and then if you quit, it would just go back to the launcher, the original one. So Doom was running at some point, but the audio wasn't working, so I had to build a audio test program basically to run a beep and see if any audio pops up anywhere. We do have the audio diagnostics, so I was trying to figure out if any of these would play any kind of sound, and then once we figure out if anything plays sound through this, we could actually use that and then add another hardware layer of audio working on this app. I assume the CPU is already cooking, and these, oh, there we go. Yeah. So a file playing did work, but that doesn't really work because you need to make a file and then run it, and then that would just, that's not instant, that's not live. It wasn't really good. Exit button also works, so you can go back, but you can see like me tapping on stuff taps back through the original application. So at this point, we haven't figured out how to suspend this and take everything over. So now that we can run Doom, that was kind of like the proof that, okay, yeah, we can take over the launcher, or maybe like even draw on top of it. We can do something on the actual screen. That was the first proof. So now that Doom runs on top, we still have that problem that killing the launcher reboots the hardware. So we can't kill the launcher, but we can send a sig stop to freeze it essentially. I think it does give back the CPU. I don't know about the RAM, but we still have like a good 100 megabytes of RAM to play around with, so that's okay. So now we can stop the original launcher, we can hijack the screen and put something on that pretty much solves the problem of the hardware restarting, right? So the main pain point of this entire project was the research, like the R&D aspect of it, because you have to make a script, go to the car, plug it in, run it, see it doesn't work, get the logs, go back and do it all over again and keep churning through. So you can see this is like half of my tries. Each one is just run the diagnosis, then run Doom, and then make a USB deploy, and then keep the project kept changing over and over and over. That's the main thing. Like I spent maybe 5-6 days, perhaps even 7, just trying to see what happens and just learning as I go basically. At some point in the project switched over from Qt to C because yeah, it's just lower overhead. It runs straight on the device itself, and it was much easier to hijack the frame buffer, hijack the sound and everything else, right? So we started with some scripts, then we started with a Qt app, then we went to a C app, then okay, we're gonna have a launcher, and then we're gonna have some apps. So instead of running each script, go to a C orchestrator, have the launcher itself as the main guy, and then the apps launch from it, and then when you quit the app, it goes back to our launcher, and then eventually settle down with a launcher, an orchestrator that just enables the SSH if you need to, enables the CPU and memory showing off. The entire project was just SH scripts going from one to another, and that was really fragile, and it's one core CPU. How is it going to do anything? We're still dealing with a potato, so pure C approach was much faster in practice, really. So then the rest of it was pretty much consolidating everything into kind of a compatibility layer. So then we don't have to rebuild the same thing over and over again for each different app. You just have the compatibility layer, feed it to the apps wherever they need it, and then it's much less work. So we have essentially a driver for video for the actual system, which is, I think, some handling here or there of the launcher, mixer for the audio and the actual audio driver itself. Drawing primitives, I think this is for the fonts, simple fonts, the actual inputs. So this is for, keyboard, touch, mouse, and gamepad. We essentially have drivers the apps can use. So the launcher launches, orchestrator takes care of all the drivers and then just feeds them to the apps. Let's duplicate work. It's just one point where the apps can just ingest drivers and actually work, right? We already have it figured out, so might as well have it in the layer. I spent most of the time on the audio side of things. Lots of going back and forth to the car, really. Opus was just talking absolute nonsense, and Codex figured it out. It was going to have to go through Qt backend, I think. It was trying to intercept with files before, but Qt output was the one that was actually real time. If I say anything wrong in this video, I'm sorry. I did reverse engineer everything. Definitely me, but also at the same time, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I just know the general concept, right? It looks good enough to me, it works, so can you blame me? So after the hardware compatibility layer was worked out, I mean, it was pretty much go crazy with making apps and seeing what runs on it, right? So we do have some apps here. Ignore the Audi probe and Audi scope. I thought maybe we have some sort of OBD connection, trying to diagnose if we can have the Rotary work. Really can't, because it's supposed to be connected with hardware. This was a waste of time. Ignore those won't be in the repo. So we do have Doom, and each app is all self-contained and defined in the configuration files. If some need to fetch the source, they'll fetch the source automatically. The make file does all the work, basically all in one, right? Easy to manage, easy to add and take out. If an app needs some sort of custom driver, Doom needs one for audio. I'm not sure if it does or it doesn't. Yeah, it does need some custom stuff. We have DOSBox, we have Retroarch, which you can see how it runs. HTOP, you build it, you run it through SSH to see the CPU go at 80% when it's running CarPlay. So I don't think we're gonna have any 60 FPS going on. I think in this build we do have Retroarch as well, right? Yeah, we do. After Doom was able to run already, obviously we can run Retroarch too, but I don't know if you can hear me clicking. Look at that lag. That is some horrific lag. And I don't know if I figured it out later in the project, but it is pretty slow. My idea was to run maybe a PlayStation 1 game on this. Maybe later in the video I'll figure it out. But for now we do have Retroarch, but no ways to play it really. I don't have a game loaded up on this, but we do have it running. So yeah, once we figured out the compatibility layer, as long as the application you want to run doesn't take too much to run, if it can run on one core, then it'll run just fine. And yeah, you can go back to the launcher. That's already, the project was looking really good here. Call it Gemini because this is the Gemini platform, not Gemini the AI. So then I gave the firmware itself to Codex, and it made me this application, which then if you just click through each one, that fails, and this one, as soon as I pressed that, I was like, oh, perfect, because that's direct. There's no file generation. It works. Like these ones don't really do anything else, and clean up, whatever. But this one, perfect. You click it, and it just runs fantastic. So Codex figured out the audio. Actually, it wasn't Opus 4.6. Now that we figured out audio, the actual finished product is, if you launch Doom and turn up the volume. Ah, look at that. We have audio. Yeah, perfect. And it's live and it's loud and it works like it should. Perfect. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is, at this point, we do have Homebrew. We have a way to run unsigned code, even though we just have root wide open. We have our own launcher, so that way you can add more apps. And our first app is Doom, and it runs perfectly. I know that this is running at 100% right now. Like, it looks like a good 40 FPS, and this doesn't have a GPU. So for it to run like this with no GPU, with one core and like no RAM at all, this is amazing. This runs great. I mean, at this point it is complete. I would say this class is as a full homebrew. So yeah, now you can buy this screen, put some files on a USB stick, run the launcher, tap into Doom, and you can play Doom on your screen. in your car stereo, basically, technically. So yeah, the sound is pretty live. So if you go boom, 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 yeah, it's real time. It works as it should. So we're injecting into the frame buffer for the display. We have a touch screen to go up and down. We have enter, but we don't have Y to press to get out. So you do need a keyboard. It goes right back into the launcher. That's one of the versions of the launcher. This is pretty hideous, so I did change it up later. This is kind of the final version of it. So yeah, it's orange because I like orange. The enable stats, so you can toggle this if you want to see the CPU. It is idling at 0% because now we do suspend the original launcher. That doesn't eat up CPU just running. This disable stats thing just, yeah, gives you 100% CPU up. It's at 0, right? So now you can actually run these applications that we have at full speed, kind of. I mean, full speed, however much this CPU will give you. I also made enable SSH just a one-way toggle because what's the point in disabling it if you can just restart the tablet? The beauty of this setup is because when you turn this off, it all goes away. When you turn it on, it gets loaded into memory from the read-only storage. The downside is that there is no storage on the device itself, and that's why you have to run everything off the USB. For homebrew purposes, this is perfect because you just plug in your USB, do whatever you want to do on it, and then you unplug or restart, and nothing is permanently changed at all. It goes back to the way it's supposed to be every single time, unless you tampered with the original firmware, and if you brick it, then it's gonna keep getting bricked every single time you turn on. So if you want to enable SSH, just tap that. It'll generate the keys. It is CPU intensive, so this poor one core CPU is making the keys, running the application, and SSH is enabled. And even if you exit the launcher, it is still running, so you can go back and then connect to it while you're running the original launcher and original software to just poke around and see what kind of services you're running. One more thing I didn't show you guys last time was Android Auto. Looks like it should. The lag is all right. It's not as high quality as the CarPlay. This is the resolution is pretty low. You can see here it's kind of crusty, but it's all right, works. I have it plugged in here on the wire, but it connected with wireless, so I don't know if a USB CarPlay Android Auto works, but you can have the wire as a charger. So in the middle of recording and making this project, I was thinking maybe let's try adding Wi-Fi support, because for now it is like a device-to-device kind of thing, but it has a Wi-Fi chip, so maybe we can hack it. And yeah, we can. Basically, you need to reconfigure from AP mode to client mode. So if you click the reconfigure button, takes it over, and then you can scan some networks to connect to. So it found my iPhone here as a personal hotspot. So then you tap on it and you need to type in the password. You do need a keyboard connected. So if you type in the password, yeah, very, very good password. And then if you click enter, you can see that it connected. It's like, it works. So you can have internet access now. I haven't gotten any further. I'm trying to get a browser up and running as I'm recording this. I don't know if I will be able to, but potentially in the future, like any kind of maybe multiplayer game or something like that. Or if you're close enough to your house, you can connect to your Wi-Fi, maybe play some Doom multiplayer or whatever you want. So this is possible. Right now I'm trying to figure some stuff out. We have a pocket piano here just to play around. I mean, this is homebrew. This counts as homebrew. So put the octave up as if I know how to play piano, but if you wanted to, you can. It's a bit buggy here, but fix that for the final product. You can just do anything on this thing at this point, honestly, as long as that one CPU runs. Another thing that you can do in this is just relive the old days of DVD. You can just leave this on while you drive around. Also, it's not as good because it's not OLED, so you can really see the LCD panel. I don't know if you saw, but in the last video I did highlight that there is one tiny dead pixel, so that's a bit unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter. Like CarPlay takes over the entire screen and you don't really notice it, but it's very noticeable here, so it is what it is. And if you want to quit, you just tap and it goes back to the launcher. Yes, I'm wearing a different shirt. So we're back to this extractor tool, extract, validate, repack, whatever. So we have the original zip file here. Then you get the bin files when you unzip it. So you know in CarPlay you have that app icon that goes back to the original operating system. Doesn't matter what car you have or anything like that. Since CarPlay is its own layer on top, side by side, doesn't really matter. It's like an app, right? You need to have a button to get out of CarPlay back to the original OEM software of whatever car you're driving, right? So in their original Linux firmware, it says car home with like a generic arrow and a rectangle icon, right? Since the operating system is already close enough in its design, it's mimicking like the new Audi MMI, whatever generation it is. So we're upgrading from MMI 3G, and the latest ones are like, I think it also runs in Linux. So I've played around with it before and it's pretty fast. And since it's already mimicking that rectangle colored transparent PNG's design, I was thinking, but we're already making it better going from the original generic boot logo to like an Audi logo or Audi with S or Audi with S line. Depends how cringy you want to get. So you might as well have the CarPlay icon also Audi to complete the whole look. Why wouldn't you? You know, it seems like we have the power here to change it. So what I'm going to do is first you run my professionally made firmware tool again, quickly extract the original software. From what I can see, the ISP boot is like the bootloader and all the other rootfs file systems. I'm pretending to know what I'm talking about. Basically all those partitions you don't really want to mess with. So from my research, I found out that in Gemini Pack is the location where it's relatively safe to edit. So if you go to etc. and CarPlay, you can see all of these XMLs that I mentioned before. I think that they used to sell lower resolution ones and they just kept adding new resolutions as they kept making new devices. And this one is the latest one. Again, I'm referring to it as like a thin bezel device or version of their product. Still, though, our only focus is the 1920 by 720 screen. So it seems like this entire file here defines what CarPlay is supposed to look like. It gets told to the iPhone how to render CarPlay, since it's all rendered on the phone and just streamed as a video to your screen. That's why it can run on a potato. I mean, it can run on a potato at like 80% CPU. It doesn't have a GPU. It would really help the stable 30 or maybe 60 FPS if it had a GPU. Since it's running on the CPU, I think it's just all software mode rendering. That's why it's a bit laggy and the frame times spike all over the place. The only things I really want to change is the OEM icon label from car home to something like maybe Audi or Audi MMI, to pretend like we're going back to Audi MMI original system, and then change the max FPS to 60, which I just noticed just now. Did I do this or did someone else do this? I didn't do this. I actually just noticed the max FPS value is already at 60 on this screen itself. So maybe they changed it. Like as I'm recording this, actually my entire idea was to go and change every single one to 60 and then just hope it accepts it. And since it's a max FPS, it's not gonna like stick to 60 FPS. It's like an upper limit, I think. And I would assume it was 30 FPS before for like efficiency reasons. I mean, it's only a screen, you're not gaming on it, so it doesn't really need to be 60 FPS. But I want it to be 60 FPS because it's right here to edit, but it's already set. So I guess that's one less thing to edit. Another thing I really want to edit is car home. So I think maybe I'll just call it Audi MMI. Maybe, I don't know, is that what it is on the official? I just want to mirror what Audi themselves have. Yeah, on the original Audis, they just have Audi MMI with the gray icon and then the Audi logo. Again, I'll leave all this extracted and public in my repo. I don't know if that's good or legal, or am I breaking something? Maybe I won't leave this and I'll just leave the extractor. So if you guys get your own, I don't know, let me know in the comments if this is okay for me to extract and put on my repo. If someone mentions it in the comments that it's okay, I'll update the repo to have this entire thing extracted. Just let me know. For now, maybe I won't upload it. Maybe there's some trade secrets that I haven't found here, and it would hurt their competition. Because yeah, this is the best Like, personally, this is the best screen I've seen on the market. Okay, so we have max 60 FPS, we have the correct resolution, and that software update enabled smart display zoom, which is just amazing. That's like the perfect thing ever. One last thing I want to change is this line here. I've complained enough, I think, I don't know, before this clip, after this clip, in this video in general. So there's the touchscreen version, the touchpad version, and the knob, so which is the rotary clicky button, and it's set to number 3, which is supposed to be controlled by the knob. On Audi, we don't have that, so I would like to disable it, maybe just make it a 1, and then I'm hoping it's just going to disable that highlight thing, so it'll just be touchscreen permanently, right? I'm assuming the software is listening out for touchscreen and some sort of rotary selection, so that's why it has both enabled, and we just need touchscreen. I think that's just gonna be cleaner. Don't really like the icons getting highlighted. You go to a different page and then the very like top left icon just gets highlighted for no reason. The other thing I wanted to show you is the icon. So you see these icons here. Actually, yeah, this is the icon that's shown in the CarPlay for you to return back to your OEM launcher. I actually personally prepared some icons. I love Icon Composer. This is you have to download Xcode, and then this comes along with it. But you can just make a gradient of whatever you want, and just it's so simple. Put on a random PNG, increase a bit of, you click on the group, you increase the shadow, just if you want to turn it on or not. You can add translucency, you can add blur, like specular, like just mess around with the icon. You can mess around with the liquid glass design, set it to whatever you want. You can still look at the dark mode version of it or the light mode. I don't export the PNG, so it doesn't seem like the firmware supports dark mode, light mode. It doesn't really matter, it's gray, so it's good enough. You just do this and then export it as a PNG, and that's, yeah, there you have your icon. So since I have the icons ready, you would just go to Gemini Pack, File Systems, SP App, etc., CarPlay. Have these icons down here, so you would delete them. Also, since we're repacking, you don't really, to be safe, I'm sure there's not many verifications in the firmware itself. You would want to match the size and resolution, so it's 75 kilobytes. So if you delete these and then paste in the new ones, it's actually 16 kilobytes, so plenty more space. We're not eating as much in the firmware, but this doesn't really matter. I think what matters is if you would try to change the actual launcher, so you would do like binary edits there. So it's supposed to be a set size. You can't really go over in the memory or the binary itself. You would have to either match the size correctly or go below it and then just pad it with zeros. I think, I don't know, don't quote me on that. But yeah, you have your Audi icon like this, exported to a little PNG. Once we repack this and flash it, hopefully it'll show this little icon and then Audi MMI below it. It can LARP as a real OEM Audi. I don't know about you personally, but for me it's these little things like the boot logo to pretend that it's a real Audi. The actual launcher design looks close enough as Audi, you would just trick anyone really. And then the actual CarPlay icon. I know they can't put the Audi logo legally themselves. What am I talking about? They put the Ford logo here, but maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. But since we can do it ourselves, let's do it. Okay, I think I got everything that matters. So we changed the OEM icon label to Audi MMI from the car home. So that should just change. As for the touchscreen to rotary, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, but yeah, switching over to 8 for hi-fi, number 1 for touchscreen only. I don't know if this will make any difference. I've talked to the Council of AIs. They seem to agree this should also change from 10 to 8. Same thing down here, there's knob support, but like it says not implement now. So it was true here, set it to false on the back and the home and the actual option here itself. I think that's all we need to change. I don't know if we need to change anything, like do the same thing in these options. These ones seem to be the default ones, so like 800 by 480p, and same goes here. I think I'm just gonna undo them and not bother with it. We only target the 1920 by 720 resolution, so I'm hoping the operating system picks up this config for the screen, and that's where everything lives. And we already changed the icons here. So let's go back to our tool and choose repack. So you choose the original or the edited folder and the both folders, working directory, and then just repack it. It takes a little while actually. CPU shoots up to 100. Again, it's going through checks, it's changing the MD5 sums and all that stuff because their verifier on the device does run a couple of things. Validate that it's legit, I don't know. So now we have the actual modified versions. Paste items, change their names back to the original ones. If all went well, this is our modified firmware. So all we need to do is just put it on a FAT32 USB stick and try it out. So with this video already being super convoluted with shirt changes and daytime and nighttime clips all over the place, this video has been going a couple days now. I'm filming this section of the video where we software update to our modified operating system to change this specific icon right here to the icon that I made and going from car home to Audi MMI. That's the only change we have made. Actually, I'm already lying, also disabling this rotary thing. So I have the modified Linux firmware on this iFlash. Let's hope it iFlashes and it iWorks and it's not iBrick. Since we only modified the Gemini pack folder, I'm using the original ispboot.bin file just in case, because better to be safe and only flash the things that you modified. I will also disable CarPlay because we're messing around with CarPlay options. So just in case, if it's not good and CarPlay is enabled and it'll try to start, maybe something crashes. Instead, let's just leave it disabled. So now we can actually proceed. This is like take 100, right? So we have the modified operating system in here, that connected here, and now we can finally brick this device with our vibe coded firmware update. So it goes verifying. It's verifying the system. Okay, so verify pass. I think we extract it, we change some files, MD5 changes, we tell it the MD5 is fine, and verify pass. I guess, I don't know what kind of check this is. Are we bypassing their checks or are we bypassing something? I don't know, but it works. And I think this is the point of no return. So let's see if it breaks. So it reboots into flash mode, I think. There you go. So it goes to updating. We have a nice progress bar. The USB is flashing, so it's eating the data. I mean, this is only a couple of files changed, so surely it doesn't break anything. Surely you can do more changes. If we were changing like kernel modules and stuff like that, I would, yeah, well, obviously it would be more dangerous, but that's just working there. But since we're changing so little, just an icon for CarPlay and nothing else, like this should be just fine. And our USB Homebrew doesn't change anything. So there you go, burn success, welcome. Let's hope the icon and everything else still works. There you go. First one in the world. My vibe coded tool works just fine. Thank you Opus, thank you Codex. So we can have modified firmwares. Let's find out if the thing we changed actually works. So CarPlay, let's enable that. And I'm gonna have to stop the recording here and I'll come back in a sec. Okay, so we're back and it already spoiled it for me. If you go here, there you go. We have our edited text, edited logo, and there is no highlighting when you go in between pages. Perfect. You go to settings, nothing highlighted. It doesn't detect the rotary. Touchscreen still works as it did before. We have our custom icon. It isn't the most high definition icon, like PlexAmp and Calendar are much higher quality, so I think we might need to get a better PNG in there. You can modify it and it's just fine. Nothing breaks, not that I can see, so perfect. We did our jailbreak, we did our homebrew, and we did system modifications, and no problems at all. As far as I need, honestly, it looks fantastic. looks great. That icon looks like it's supposed to be there, and you click it, it goes back to the OEM looking design. It looks like this is supposed to be like a 2025 Audi A1 instead of a 2014 one. The boot logo, you can change that. That's already provided to you easily without hacking or anything like that. This is possible and even more. This is pretty much a 10 out of 10 now. I don't see anything like yeah, if the Rotary would work, it would be great, but it is what it is. And for what it is, this is fantastic. So another thing I missed out on last video, like everything else in my life, is these two screws. So they need to go on either side of this plastic bit, so this doesn't do this, right? This is not supposed to happen. You have to screw in those two screws on either side, so this is more stable. I mean, it is stable right now, but you might as well finish the job, you know? Which means we need to take this out again, unscrew the screw that we messed around with last time, take this whole thing out just to get these two in. Ah, grumble, grumble, grumble. Okay, wow, it wasn't as hard to take out as it was last time, so I guess experience does matter. But now we can go and unscrew that screw again that's holding this thing in. Oh, yippee, we're actually taking out more things because we need to have a hand in here so we can catch the bloody screw. So it needs to be here to catch the screw. So you have to take this out. You know, this is some Mission Impossible shit, honestly. So you have this tool here, you have to fight with gravity. There's no magnetizing on this. You have to have your hand up there as well, two of them in there, and then somehow just barely take it out so it doesn't fall into the void, but you got it out another time, and hopefully this will be the last time. So now we can actually rip this out and sort this thing out. Since I already went through the pain of disassembling it this far, I thought to myself, we're already going through a software technical deep dive and we hacked it, we have jailbreaks and homebrews and all that, we might as well go through the hardware as well. So I wanted to show you how this whole thing works. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm assuming either the CPU or BIOS of some sort. I don't know what it could be. There's some stuff under the sticky tape here. Some reset, upgrade, reset ground control. I'm assuming they use these to flash or test the board. So you do have that actual main connection, the video out of the original operating system, but the juicy stuff's on the flip side. And let's try not to break it, because this is the only thing I have in my life. Okay. Ooh, okay. There's way more stuff going on the other side. So let's not break the really sensitive ribbons. So, okay, so, oh, okay. That's not careful at all. That is very not careful. Okay. So, okay, this looks like it, okay, I'm just gonna give up. It looks like Raspberry Pi Zero type of thing where you solder it on or you plug it in, you know, like a socketed CPU. Maybe it's upgradable? MI3G. Oh, this might be like a FPGA, so just for the specific car. Like they work off one operating system. Stop doing that, man. Okay, they work off one board, and then they just put an FPGA with the pre-programmed. This is upside down. Maybe I'll flip it. MMI 3G, so this is meant for my car, and then like a BMW would have a different programmed board. They can just reduce development costs by just slapping that on, and then it adapts to what it is, and the operating system can be a messy code base, but it'll just pick up what it needs to pick up. You have that capacitor here, so it stays alive when you turn off the car for like a second or two, but then it just dies. There is no RTC clock because it starts from 1970s. All the time on that epoch time. We have a little heat sink, heat pad type deal here. So I'm assuming this is the CPU, our very trusty single core, and maybe, oh, this might be the RAM actually. EMT something, EBMT maybe. Obviously the Wi-Fi chip right here, just one wire, so it doesn't really need much range. I've already had conflicts of multiple phones being connected, so my phone tries to connect, but the phone in my house connects first. This Wi-Fi should be a little bit weaker, so it's contained inside the car itself. We do have a button here, nice and clicky. No idea what it could be for. Maybe some sort of enable flash from USB to recover my vibe coded software updates. could be that. This heatsink is really stuck on there. I don't think this is thermal paste. Yeah, it's just stuck, so I can't take it off, and I won't try. I've seen these on GPUs, power delivery, power stage, something or the other. This could be like a dual BIOS, dual triple BIOS, or maybe that's a BIOS. Motherboard version 1.1. I've seen this. This is, you put one of these when you're supposed to downgrade your PlayStation 4. You do that on one of those boards to go from 5 volts to 3 volts or something like that. Power downgrader or something. I can't remember the name of. Here's some random trivia for you. I recognize this. More power stages, and then nothing else interesting really, just some bits and bobs here or there. Here's a quick pan across the motherboard, if you can spot anything interesting. Something to do with sound maybe, I don't know. But yeah, again, for 150 pounds, this is more than enough. It runs your CarPlay and it works just fine, and that's all you need to do. It was never meant to play Doom. It was never meant to do anything else. It was meant to run CarPlay at 20 FPS solid, and it does a damn good job of it, honestly, as far as retrofit CarPlays go. It's time to put all of this back together. Nostalgic for part 1 of this video series, if you want to call it that. Okay, so to finally complete the project, so I forgot to get these screws in. You must put them in, so then it can actually hold on. Those screw into the plastic, and this is actually, can't move it out. It's solid in there. So then you have that, you pivot off of these, and then you screw that in like last time. It's a bit bent, and then this will be a super solid in there. Okay, finally problem solved. So that's screwed in all the way. That's the most annoying screw in the history of screws. That is solid in there. You're not gonna rip it out. I mean, yeah, this, don't worry about that. It's not moving anywhere. Like, I'm really giving it nothing at all. So that's how it should be. I really like the design, like, it just goes right into it, flows right in. They really outdid themselves with this one. The material is a bit different, just hard plastic instead of foam stuff that we got here. That is it. That is in there solid. It's not going anywhere. Can finally be done with this. Let's pack this up. Perfect. Like nothing happened. You have the icon, you have everything set up very nice and clean, and that's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't go anywhere. It's OEM finished product. Finally, we're done. We're absolutely done with this. We're done when I say we're done. We're not done with this project yet. I still have more to show you. I haven't even shown you Windows try to boot up, let alone other games, right? So we have Doom and we have Quake from the same era. So let's try Quake. I already figured out that it works, and of course it just copies what Doom did in the first place. And we have sound and all this other stuff. Loud as hell as well. But yeah, it works as it should. So I added Quake as well. You do need to provide 2 files from a legitimate copy. I don't know how to play Quake, but I'm pretty sure it works as it should. I mean, yeah, same kind of 40 FPS. And I even have mouse support, I think, if I get the mouse going. Yeah. So if you go on a proper surface, you're supposed to move the Doom back and forth like this, or you're supposed to look up and down. I don't know. Left and right works, but do you move like this in Quake? I don't know. I'm too young for this. You could absolutely fly through the map. There you go. Level loading works as well. Shotgun, left click, right click walks forward for some reason. Don't know if that's supposed to happen. You can just no-scope someone on this damn screen. It looks great. It works fantastic. Someone's growling, and I don't know what. And I can't get out of here. So we're gonna end this demo here. Quake works. If you're a Quake head, go ahead and play this. Another thing I really wanted to figure out is if we can play some multiplayer. So let's go to Wi-Fi and take it over. So that goes to client mode, scan some networks. These networks pop up. In this launch, you can't really scroll. So if you have a lot of Wi-Fi networks, you would just go up and down. I'll connect to mine. Okay, perfect, that's connected. So if you close and then go to Quake World, that loads up. And if you escape and you go to multiplayer and then refresh internet servers, look at that, that works. I mean, I'm in the middle of making the video, so it didn't work a couple of times, but it was stuff to do with DNS and things like that. But we have server list running. server list working. Now, what kind of server do I pick? Because I think most of these are modded. I'm gonna need new files, which I don't have. Maybe try our luck on this one. Never mind. Never mind, I'll try this one. I found some random server. Let's try connecting to it. And the fact that it connects and it downloads the files that you need. That's crazy. Look at that go. It loads up to your USB and there it is. I completely skipped the help. And also there's no sound, so sorry about that. I need to figure out why this doesn't load yet. Oh, okay, that's definitely a person. Or am I playing against bots? Yeah, I must be playing against someone. I'm so sorry, I don't know how Quake works, but I think I got no-scoped. I think I got shot. I think that's a real person. Maybe I should use the mouse. The mouse that doesn't work. Someone's trying to kill me. Okay, let's try to get one kill. Just one. Just give me one kill, man. Just one kill for the demo. Come on, man, give me a kill. Give me a kill, man. I think I'm blasting myself with these. Oh, come on. Did I kill anyone? Anybody? Who are these people? No. Come on. Really dark and gloomy. Come on, let me kill someone. Come on. Someone. I don't even know where is there a kill feed in this damn game? Oh, health pack. So I can survive a bit longer. I'm getting schooled. Come on! Where is it? Die! No! Come on! One kill, just one kill. There we go, big gun. And not good enough. I mean, I'm probably going against people playing 2,000 hours of this game. This is now turning into a gameplay video. Did I shoot him? No. Okay, so for the video, I don't have time to fix. Okay, I killed this guy. Unnamed. Yeah, that's me. I'm unnamed. I got one. I got a guy. Yes. Successful gameplay. I'm spawn camping someone here. I respawn so fast by just left clicking all the time. Oh, so I got that guy. That's a good proof of concept. It works. It absolutely works. You can connect to Wi-Fi and play a multiplayer game like it's nothing. And then you can quit. I can't even see anymore. Where's my light? And you can quit like nothing happened. It's fantastic. You can play Quake, you can play Quake multiplayer, you can play Doom. What more do you want? True homebrew, true jailbreak, true everything. Like I said before, it's easy to add these games that run on low power hardware. Even better if they have open source code that you can recompile and change to fit for your specific device. I still can't believe we can just download maps. Look at it go. This is crazy. It's going through our hacked Wi-Fi, through a hacked Quake install, into the USB 2.0 USB. Sound in the menu, but no sound in the game itself. But like, look at that run. It's just running like it's nothing. I don't know, maybe 40, maybe 60 FPS. But you can just play multiplayer on this thing. It's unbelievable. Well, it's pretty believable. And you can get fragged. You can just run around and get zapped from behind. It's great. I can't believe this actually runs. And it reacts so good as well. Look, I'm like left, right, left. Oh, I mean, left, right. Look at that. Okay, that's a bot. Whoa, what were you shooting that? I'll get sound fixed and then this will be an absolute blast. You can just park up in McDonald's, just hook up to the free Wi-Fi and play some damn Quake multiplayer and get absolutely shit on. Look at these guys. Come on. Yes, I got him. Yeah. How do you crouch? Got him. And it works so good. It's like, it works. It absolutely works. You can actually play this. Look at this guy. Oh. This guy just stuck. Okay, okay, these are bots. This guy just 180'd instantly. Don't tell me we can do this. Nah, no way. No way, this, dude. So you can set the, okay, the resolution is horrific. Okay, we're running on some FPS. Okay, I'm really screwing up the resolution here, man. I don't know my math. I don't know what's 1920 by 720 but lower. I don't know maths. This game is flickering. We can run higher resolutions. It's just that, yeah, the FPS takes a dip, but you can run it a little bit better. Sorry for the epilepsy. I absolutely screwed up the resolution. Well, it runs really good now. I also forgot to mention, yeah, we have keyboard support to select your application as well. So you can do that too. You can go all over the place. Let's try running Windows 3.1. Surely the first Windows can run on this thing, like what, 30 years later? Let's give it a go. So we have DOSBox running. I have a system.img file already pre-made. I am not going through the installation process on this. I got it off Internet Archive. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But it does work. The big question is how long? So how long are we going to be here until it loads something up? This adds another layer of troubleshooting, because you're troubleshooting, is it working on the device itself, or is it because the DOSBox is misconfigured or something like that? The more complexity you add, the time just stacks up so much more. And it takes forever. Oh, we have a mouse. But that's the Linux mouse. That's not a Windows 3.1 mouse. And that flickering is also not good, because that seems like it's trying to, something to do with FPS, something to do with performance. I don't expect this to run very well. I'm surprised it runs at all. I'm assuming this is a huge bug, which I'll have to fix in the future. Oh, something's happening after like a good 3 minutes maybe. Oh, oh, here we go. Here we go. The actual mouse is here. Will anything happen? Let's get a zoom in on this. Come on, just work, just show something. The fact that we got this far is promising, but the performance is unusable. Come on. Oh. You can see the window get drawn in layer by layer. Oh my God, this is the worst performance I've seen on Windows 3.1. Look at those icons come in. That's beautiful. Look at that. It's like I'm downloading over dial-up. Just one by one. You can see how it's all drawn. Is that it? Are we here? That's it. That is the complete boot up of Windows 3.1. It's running. I don't know if that counts as good. Well, it counts as running, but it doesn't count as usable at all. I think I have touchscreen support, so let's try to maybe maximize something. I tapped it, but will that work? Maybe I'm supposed to drag. What about if I move the mouse? Oh, it's completely frozen. Will it do anything? R for readme. I think we may have crashed. Yeah. Okay. Here's your Windows 3.1 demo. We got to the desktop, but I think that's as far as we're going. I tried running it before and the mouse would move. I didn't manage to move an icon, but it was drawing the same way. It was completely unusable. So we do have Windows 3.1. It does run. You can't use it. That's as far as it goes. There might be a better way to do this, but for now, this is my proof of concept, and let's say it counts as a Homebrew application. So Windows 3.1 ran perfectly, right? So let's try Windows 95. What's the worst that can happen? So DOSBox runs it, and the system.img from Internet Archive does work, and it loads up. I think we're just going to be on the same problem of waiting 10 minutes for something to pop up. Look, Windows 95. You can LARP that you have Windows 95 on your CarPlay car stereo. It's running, guys. It's definitely running, and it's not stuck in the loading screen forever and ever. And you still don't know if it's DOSBox problem or is it our hardware layer problem. I think it's just 100% CPU problem. We're just stuck with this forever. This 1 GHz CPU is not meant for this. There's no GPU, there's no nothing. It's trying its best to run something. It's also running off USB 2.0. It would be easier to run it on an actual potato. We'll wait to see if anything pops up if we even get to the desktop. But usability is completely out of the question. Oh, I've been sat here for 10 minutes in my car freezing to death, and something finally happened. I just don't know if it crashed or are we gonna see something useful. All I see is my dead pixel. Oh, what's that? Is that the mouse? That's probably the mouse in the worst shape I've seen it. Oh my God, what is happening? Is this the yellow screen of death? What's going on? Oh yeah, that is the mouse. It's just, yeah, lots of copies of it. Okay, well, the display is definitely not in a good shape. Just anything resembling a desktop. Just run, just show something. I know if I spent more time on this, I would probably sort it out, but Windows 95 was not meant to run on silicon like this. It's screaming in agony right now. Look at it. It's in so much pain. It's been split into 9 vertical pieces and made yellow. It's not meant for this world. It's not meant for this life. Oh, wait, is that the taskbar? That is the taskbar. It's spawning in the start menu. Oh my god. What else is it? Oh, those are icons. The same way Windows 3.1 worked. It's the preset icons on the left. We can't see anything. It's an even worse shape. Oh, that's the welcome to Windows 95 screen. Look at it. It's alive. It's coming alive. It's the Windows, yeah, it's the help. It's the getting started menu. Oh, that text is so readable. Okay, well, for all intents and purposes, this is a very usable Windows 95 machine. You have 8 copies of it squished across the screen. Yeah, who am I kidding? This is horrific. But it runs, so whatever DOSBox can run. This might be a graphics problem in the system.img itself. This is what happens when you just find anything off the internet and try to run it. I'm sure it would work if I set it up correctly and properly, but since this is a demo, this is enough. I think we should stop torturing poor Windows 95. I think it's time to rest. No more torture. Turn it off. Turn it off! Rest in peace. While I was doing Wi-Fi support, I tried to get a browser going, but while I'm making this video, I can't get it to run. So maybe in the future I'll get it to run, but for now it just shows nothing. We don't have like a Linux desktop for it to run on or anything like that. I tried to inject it to the frame buffer itself, so it would have been funny to go to the old net or something like that. But since Quake multiplayer works on the Wi-Fi, I'm sure if we got a browser to run on this, you could connect to Wi-Fi and run a browser and browse something and maybe go to YouTube or something like that. But due to time constraints, I couldn't fix this, so sorry about that. And as promised, the piano is a bit fixed, so this looks a bit better. I think that 200 millisecond delay is in play here and just screwing me over. It would react a bit faster, but if you need to play around with it, you can. You can do that and go back. So yeah, what else is there left to say? It was a pretty fun, like, see if you can do it project. I learned a lot, messed around a lot, and I wasted so much time at the beginning. Could have done it way quicker, way better, because I had to spend so much time going back and fixing stuff. But in the end, yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Things run, some things don't, some things do. I tried making like a Linux desktop appear on it, because we already have Linux on top. So I was like, maybe we can finish the layers, right? So add more, add like a desktop environment or something like that. But that was such a waste of time as well. It didn't work. Browser as well, it's trying to start. It's still in the black screen, so maybe I'll fix that in the future. There's also like Scum VM for those really old games, so I don't know, that probably works as well. There's so many things you can do, right? As far as the project goes, I'm pretty happy with it right now. So I'll link my GitHub repo in the description. Feel free to fork it or contribute to it or comment on how bad the vibe coding is. Do whatever you want. I welcome you. If you also have the same screen in a different car, like a BMW or something, feel free to go download the zip file, put it on a USB 2.0 stick, less than 8 gigabytes, because the actual device itself doesn't read it. Plug it in. Hopefully you get the launcher. Don't forget those Doom and Quake files. Again, this is really still in progress as I'm making this video, so don't expect any stability. Maybe I'll make an update months down the line on this channel, second channel, whatever. Maybe the repo itself changes a lot. Who knows? Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this 1 hour video. I hope it was worth it. I know I repeated myself a lot, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. So yeah, stay tuned for any more videos like this. I'm not going back to my car for a while. Anything else, please, I need a different project. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. What are you still doing here?